Just a quick one before we dive in. I've just opened up 2 brand new ways to work with me. If you're an established beauty professional who's ready to increase your revenue, either in your clinic or by moving into the online mentoring and educational space, you can join me for a 2-month container where we build and validate your first online offer or your next big move. Or if you're ready to go all in, there is a 7-month private mentorship where we build, launch and scale your new revenue stream together. If you're not sure which one's right for you, I'm offering a handful of free business clarity calls, quick and powerful to map out your fastest path and to see which container fits best. Just DM me the word revenue on Instagram or check the link in the show notes and email me. Let's get into the episode.
Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook. Hello, people. We are going to quickly get into the question of the week. So this week's question was, what is your favourite ever beauty trend? So the first one that I want to talk about is the ombre brow. Absolutely stunning. I have a bit of an issue when it comes to mine. I remember when I did that to myself once, and I have semi-permanent makeup as well, and mine are all powdered. But when I was filling them in too, my husband did actually say to me, like, why aren't you filling in that extra bit of your brow? I was like, what is your problem? This is the ombre brow. What don't you understand? Anyway, let me know if you've been there. Ombre brow, very good answer. I've chosen my favourite. So that was a very good answer. Great trend. Love it. Still hear about it. Still see it today. Gorgeous. If it doesn't suit you, I'm just going to put it out there. It's a bit of a difficult one. It depends on all of skin tone, shade, everything else. Also, second one was the freckles. I love the semi-permanent makeup freckles, and I love the fact that I remember when I was younger, I was probably about 18 or 19, I was drawing on my freckles myself with my brow pencil. Oh, I actually do have freckles that come out in the sun. I think that was everyone's excuse, wasn't it, to draw them on. It was like, but I do have them when the sun comes out and they bring them out. So that was a great one. Great trend. Let me know if you're still giving yourself freckles, ladies and gents. Third one that we had on there was, actually we had 2 for French manicure. 1 for the fact that it's timeless. Absolutely love that trend. Cannot get enough of it. It's such an old trend, isn't it? Like dates back to God knows when. And the other one was French with a pop of colour. So we've got that on there. That was a favourite of mine about the Frenches. And the final trend that I wanted to talk about today is the foundation lips. Please let me know if you know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure you will. But we used to put foundation all over our lips and thought that was super, super cool. When that came through in my inbox, I was like, oh my God, yes, I remember being there. I remember loving life. And some people would just do the foundation lip and leave it there. Those were the best people. They were out there. And the other people that would do the foundation lip and a tiny bit of clear gloss over the top. Yeah. Let me know if you still do that, by the way. Anyway, those ones were the ones that I thought were either the best or the funniest. Everything else was great too. Thank you for sending in your answers, people. I'll be doing another question of the week next week. And yeah, let's get into today's episode.
Today, I want to talk to you about a really important aspect of how you run your beauty businesses, and that is the power of mindset and vision, okay, in transforming your beauty business and how it can actually help you to get fully booked. Because there's so many people that I've spoken to throughout the years that have said to me, when they realise that they've gone from no clients and all these gaps in their diary and feeling like they're really not in control of their business, they then get super successful, right? And they've gone through it all. And I asked them, what is it that actually changed? Because obviously, yes, there was some strategy in place, but what was the biggest change that you made? And the number one thing that they tell me, the number one common answer among all of these people is that their mindset changed. So today I want to talk about mindset and vision. More importantly as well, why it actually might be holding you back from growing your business and getting clients in the door. Okay, so I think it's time for you to grab your favourite drink, tea, coffee, whatever it might be. I've got my tea with me, and get comfy, because I love talking about this stuff. It really does make or break your business. So we all know that we're in a saturated market. We know that the beauty industry is highly competitive. We know that success is always up and down. It's not always rainbows and unicorns. And the thing is, mindset is actually 80% of the game. So if you can tap into the mindset side of things, you can seriously make this your secret weapon. Literally, use it. Make it your secret weapon. Make it your superpower. So without having this positive growth mindset, okay, how are you going to completely shift and, how are you going to approach challenges? How are you going to constantly be learning and evolving? That's the question. Okay, if you don't have this growth mindset, if you don't have this vision for your business, how are you approaching these scenarios, right? These times when things happen and it feels icky and it feels hard and you don't want to get up in the morning, you don't want to see your clients, or there's not many clients in and you just think, why am I doing this? That's why you need to have this really strong, positive, growth-orientated mindset and vision. The vision needs to be huge. So let's just talk about your vision for a minute. I believe that the vision that you hold is literally the roadmap to your dreams, okay? And if you have a vision that is clear enough, it will literally keep you on that pathway, and it will keep fueling you, and it will wake you up every day with that spring in your step, ready to take on the world. And one of the most essential aspects of your vision is to actually know your why. And if you haven't heard about, what is your why before and things like that, your why is the deeper reasons that you do what you do. It's connected to your values. It's connected to what you want out of life. It's connected to who it will impact. It's all of these things. Why is it that you do what you do? Why is it that you want to be in this industry? And the purpose for the why is to keep you motivated, okay? Keep you getting up in the morning, push you forward. But it's also, and I love this part, right? It's also something that will attract the right people to you, because what you'll notice is you attract exactly what you put out. So when you're kind of aligning your business with your values and everything else and your message and your why, you're going to attract people that may share those kind of values with you, okay? Because, what we put out, we attract. That's what we get back. So it's all about your energy. If you're putting out positive energy all the time, you're going to get positive energy back. It's all about the law of attraction. But that's not what we're getting into today. What I want to get into with you is how you take today's episode to actually, make some practical steps so that you can strengthen your mindset and define your vision. Okay, so first of all, your vision needs to be bigger, way bigger than any of the things that are going to hold you back. So it needs to be bigger than the fears, bigger than the, I don't want to put myself out there, bigger than feeling like you're an imposter, bigger than feeling like, why should your clients come to you? Why would they pay your prices? All of these things. Your vision needs to be bigger than that. So you need to take this step one, sit down, clarify what the vision is for yourself in your life and in your business. So what is it that you're going to be doing in this business? Where is it going to take you? What does that look like in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Who is it impacting? It's all of these things built up that can create this massive vision. And when you do this, what I would like you to do, what I tell my clients to do, is seriously think about everything so that it gives you the feels. It makes you tingle and it gives you that kind of urge to get up and go and do something. Okay, so what are the people around you saying to you? What are you known for? What do they say to you? Is it that they're proud of you? Is it that your loved ones are like, oh my gosh, you did it? All of these things, right? I want you to think about in the future. How does your ideal life look? What is this vision for your perfect life, for your perfect day, for your perfect business? And all of these things that you want to achieve. And why do you want all of that? So get crystal clear on the vision and write it down and make this kind of document, so that what you can do is every single day you can look at this vision. And you can have a little read of it every single day to get you going in the mornings before you start your work. Make it part of your morning routine. Make it part of your evening routine if you want to. And once you've got your vision set in stone, there's another step here about your mindset. So I've got 5 steps for you today. Second step is to start being aware of your internal dialogue. And I don't know about anyone else listening, but I have serious internal dialogue in my brain every day, all the time. I'm like 100 miles an hour. My mind is always chatting away to me. Obviously, I'm in my thoughts all the time. And if those thoughts are negative, what's going to happen? My energy is going to feel quite negative. I'm going to be putting negativity out there into everything that I do, or the work that I do is going to be being done through a negative energy. So what you want to do is be able to have this awareness of your internal dialogue and the thoughts in your mind, and be able to realize, like, if that's negative, if you're feeling like that's not a helpful belief or that's not a helpful message for myself, then you need to flip it. And you need to be able to flip it quite quickly into something positive. And the way that you can do that is thinking about, say for example, I woke up in the morning and I thought, oh my gosh, well, let's talk about when I had my beauty business, right? Maybe I woke up in the morning and I thought, I really don't want to go to work today because my diary's got gaps and it's going to be one of those days and I've got one of those clients in that I don't particularly love or whatever. And I'm giving myself this talk like, oh, how could I maybe get out of it? Right, I need to be aware of that straight away. I need to listen to it and realise that is just not helpful. It's not going to push me forward. It's not positive. And I can't be doing anything in this energy because it's basically just rubbish. Okay. So I need to flip that straight away to a positive. And what can I do? I can think about it like, okay, what could I do today that would actually help me, fill those gaps? How could I use my time more wisely to fill those gaps? Or if this, what is in my control about this client that I don't particularly love, that I could maybe change it up a bit? Or maybe I need to set some new boundaries in my business. Maybe it's that she's always late and that annoys me. Maybe it's my policies that need changing. What is in my control? What can I literally look at? What can I start listening to help me do this? What can I start doing? Make an action plan, Try to flip the negative into the positive all the time by looking at, why am I thinking like this? What am I seeing right now that's making me feel like this? What am I hearing in my head that's making me feel like this? How can I change that? What can I do? Those are the type of things that you can do to be aware of your internal dialogue and change it. Moving on to step 3 is you need to recognize your triggers. So the thing is, right, if you're not recognizing your triggers that make you feel a bit negative or they make you feel, do you know what? Actually, there's all of these things like imposter syndrome. She's doing better than I am, comparing yourself, or feeling a bit jealous, or feeling a bit, let's say, envious, or let's say feeling a bit down because you're thinking, why am I doing this? Why, any of these things, right? You need to recognize your triggers, because if you're not recognizing what it is that sets you off into this negative space, into this negative energy, again, how are you going to change that? Okay, so it might be that there's a few accounts that you follow on social media that really aren't doing you any favors. Okay, you like their work, but you're actually getting imposter syndrome because of it. You're actually comparing yourself a bit too much every time you see this account pop up, and it's putting you actually in a negative mindset space. And if you stay in that negative mindset, it's going to hold you back from actually setting new goals, creating action plans, being positive, stepping forwards, and showing up with confidence. It's going to stop you from doing that. So if that's one of your triggers, just for example, you need to realize that trigger. You need to stop doing it. You need to remove that trigger from your life. Because if you don't, again, this is going to hold you back from building your beauty business. And why would you want to do that when this is in your control? There are other triggers that may not be as much in your control that you just need to try to avoid as much as you can. Maybe there's somebody in your life there's like a negative Nelly. We all have these people sometimes, they suck the energy out of us, right? Think about that. Think about who you're spending your time with, and do you need to make any adjustments to your lifestyle, and or do you stay up late, right? This is another one. I've done this in the past. In fact, I do it all the time. I'm not going to lie. I get into a rut, maybe, if you could say, where I start going to bed really late, and I think to myself, why am I doing this? Because it actually triggers me. In the morning, I start feeling like I'm on the back foot. And that's one of my triggers. And if I'm on the back foot, I then get into this negative mindset and I get a little bit anxious. So look at your triggers. What is it that makes you get into these negative spaces? You will know yourself better than anybody else. So what is it that gets you into these negative spaces? And how can you change those? How can you remove those triggers from your life so that you can just focus on being positive and growing and having this mindset and maintaining this mindset? Because it's not just something that you do once and you think, right, I've worked on my mindset. Thank you. Happy days. Moving on. Let's crack on. It's not that at all. It's actually thinking, right, I need a daily mindset habit. I need to keep on top of this because everything slips. Honestly, in all of my years of, doing business or even my kids, right? Even in my personal life, I'll be like on top of my game one day. And then the following week, I'm like, what happened? Why did I let my mindset shift? Why did I let myself start, moaning about everything and taking things personally from the kids, right? Because I let my mindset slip, and that's had a negative impact on everything that day. But it doesn't mean that every day going forward has to be like that. Okay, a bad day doesn't mean a bad week. A bad week doesn't mean a bad month. You can get back on as soon as you realise. As soon as that awareness clicks back in, you can absolutely get back on track. So I just want you to remember that step was to recognize your triggers, and just to keep on top of the mindset. So step 4 in how you can use your mindset and everything to actually help you build your business and help you get more clients and help you put out good energy into the world, which is what we're focusing on today. Step 4 is to actually realize that you need to be focusing on the positive, everything positive, because what we focus on grows. So if you're focusing on this went wrong today, that went wrong today, or I've got gaps in the diary today, there's no clients coming in, or maybe you're focusing on the fact that a client cancelled or rescheduled, or something happened at an appointment that didn't quite go right, or maybe you didn't make the income that you wanted to make that month or that week or whatever. If you're focusing on what's not happening, right, on that post on social media that didn't get enough likes, or it didn't get any shares or follows or comments or whatever, or no bookings off the back of an email, all of these things, right, if you're focusing on the negative of the problem, like what happened, that is what you're going to get more of. You're going to get more of the problem, unfortunately. You're going to keep getting the negative back. That's not what you want. That is not what you want. Why would you want to focus on something like that and let that grow? Don't be doing that to yourself, because this is in your control. Flip it to the positive and start focusing on the positive. Start building on the positive and let the positivity flow. I do make myself laugh. Right, step 5 is to stop comparing yourself. I've touched on this, but seriously, comparing yourself is the biggest killer of your joy. Okay? It can ruin your whole day. It can ruin your whole month. It's the worst thing that you could possibly do for yourself in life, but also in your beauty business. And I know that it's hard, because I know there are so many people out there doing what you do. They're posting photos, they're posting videos, they're looking like they're super successful on social media. But you know what? The bottom line to this is you will never know what someone else's bottom line is in their business. And what's more important? You know, their fancy photos on social media that look great, or is it how successful they are in their actual business? How much money they're making, how much free time they have to spend with their family and friends because their business is successful, right? That's what's important. But you're never going to know the answer to that question other than for your business. So why are you going to compare yourself to someone who you don't even know what you're comparing yourself to, really, other than their highlight reel on Instagram or their featured photos and videos on Facebook? Don't do that. Okay, even if somebody's got so many followers. I've worked with clients in my coaching business who I didn't think needed me by looking at their profile. They look like they're doing really well. They've got loads of followers. They're posting. They look great. Their work looks fantastic. You'd think they're getting clients, but they weren't. The strategies weren't in place. The success wasn't happening. They weren't getting to where they wanted to be. They didn't even know how to set their goals. They weren't tracking their monetary, goals. They weren't doing anything like that. So they needed me. I didn't think they did, but they did, right? So if I was to say to myself, well, I'm never going to make connections or relationships with these people with, fancy Instagrams and Facebooks and TikToks or YouTubes or whatever it might be, right, that we see out there in the world, then I'd be on the back foot. I'd be cutting my nose off to spite my face. So don't compare yourself to anybody else, because again, that's going to kill your joy. And the worst thing you can do to yourself is to compare, right? You are you, you're special, and no one else is going to be able to be you. So take that, run with it, and let that be your secret sauce. Okay, let it shine through your business. Let it help you attract the people that you want into your business, and be authentically you, unapologetically you. Okay? Now, there are some daily habits that I really seriously do encourage you to take on. So, first one is affirmations. Okay? This is the type of statement where you say, I am incredible. I am growing my business day by day by X, Y, and Z. I'm focused and I'm resilient. I have an abundance of time, or time is always on my side. Or I'm learning to be a morning person, or I'm enjoying reading more, or I'm enjoying the growth in my business. I'm loving the clients that come through my door. All of these I am statements and things sort of like similar to that, those are affirmations. And if you can write down 20 affirmations for the different areas of your life, I do things like my relationships, my finances, my career, and what else do I do? I can't remember now. So all of the different categories that you want to do, and write down 5 different affirmations for each area or more. If you get into this and you love doing it, write down more. And once you start figuring out what they're going to be for this period of your life, because they're going to change and you can adapt them as you go, but start saying them to yourself every single day. Get up and look in the mirror and say it to yourself. Some people like to do a voice note on their phone and record it so that they can listen back to it every single day and remind themselves of, how powerful they are and how amazing they are, and get themselves into this good, positive energy. That's what it's going to do for you. We're going to believe it. The brain believes what we tell it. So when you look at yourself in the mirror and you say these affirmations, your brain is going to believe that it is true. And this is how people use the power of affirmations and the law of attraction together to actually grow in their businesses and their lives, because they attract what they're putting out. Okay, once your brain believes something to be true, it starts working in magical ways to help you achieve that. It starts working in this crazy way to actually put things in front of you that will help you get there. It will bring up inspired ideas into your brain, because you'll be like, yes, I'm going to start doing this. And then that leads you down the pathway to success. Okay, so one of the things I encourage you to do is start doing affirmations. It's one of the quickest, easiest ways that you can start working on your mindset. It's one of the most basic things that you can do, but it's very, very powerful and effective. The other thing that I encourage you to do is to actually sit down every day and write down what you're grateful for. This doesn't have to be like so long. It just needs to be maybe a couple of minutes a day where you write down 2 or 3 things, could be more, but you write down all of these things that you're grateful for. Because the best way to stay in a positive mindset is to say, I'm so grateful that I have this in my life. If I wake up in a crappy mood and I then sit down with my cup of coffee and I write in my journal, I'm so grateful for the smiles on my baby's faces this morning, that's automatically going to give me a little bit of a smile. It's going to turn the corners of my lips up and I'm going to smile, because of course I'm happy to see my baby's happy, right? What else am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the sunshine this morning. I'm grateful for the fresh air that we all love. I'm grateful for the fact that I get to choose how I spend my time today. So if I start writing down what I'm grateful for, I'm going to shift to a positive mindset, and I'm just going to love what's going on, and it's going to give me more of that. So the best way to stay in a positive mindset is to focus on what you're grateful for, not to focus on what's going wrong, not to focus on anything that's negative, to focus on the positive and what you do have. Okay. And then what I also like to do, little bonus tip for you here, is I like to always say to the universe, like, thanks universe, like, thanks so much for everything that I've got. I'm so grateful for everything that you've given me, and more please. Can I have more please? I always ask for more, because I just think, putting it out there that, I'm thankful for everything else that I'm going to receive. I literally sometimes say thank you, and thank you for everything that I'm about to receive. It's so powerful. And the other thing is journaling. Journaling is a massive tool that you can use to actually get you from where you are to where you want to be, and to shift your state. If you don't know about journaling, please join the Beauty Build group. Okay, it's facebook.com/groups/Beauty Build. That is where I share live trainings all the time around these kind of topics that I come on here and talk about as well. But I can't always go into massive depth on each thing in these episodes, and I think that there is a journaling training in there already that you would really benefit from if you don't know about journaling. But basically, the most important thing to remember with journaling is that you need to go into it feeling one way and come out of it feeling another. So normally we use journaling to release a negative emotion and move into the positive, or we use it to go, right, I want to create this today. How am I going to do that? How do I want to feel around that? And it sparks ideas. It sparks this positive kind of like snowball effect. And we start going and getting deeper and deeper in our journaling, asking ourselves questions. And then we have this kind of action plan at the end of it where we think like, whew, like I know what I'm doing today now, because I've got it all out on paper and I've decided to create this vision and this new reality for today. Or it could be for the week. It could be, you get my drift. It could be for whatever. So journaling is another good tool that you can use to help with these things. And of course, like I said at the beginning, reading your why and your vision every single day. Okay, that is going to pull you out of bed in the mornings. Okay, that is going to be the fire in your belly. That's going to keep you going, to keep you focused on the end goal. Okay, because every little thing that you do in between is going to, there's going to be ups and downs. Sometimes it might feel a bit mundane. It's going to need to be something that you do because you are so focused on that vision and so focused on your why, and with all of your certainty that you're going to get to that end goal. That's what the vision is going to do for you if you read it every single day. And then lastly, set your goals to be achievable and celebrate every single little milestone on the way. Okay, even if you've just broken down a project into a few tasks, treat those little tasks as goals. Once you've done those and once you've achieved that, celebrate that in some way. As big or as small as you like. I don't mind how you celebrate. Just make sure that you give yourself a pat on the back and you say to yourself, well done me. I've done this and that's amazing. Okay, because it takes a lot of effort to run these businesses. We do everything in these businesses, right? And if you want your beauty business to keep going forward and to keep stepping forward into the next level, you personally need to be celebrating where you are and continuing on that path of success. And to give yourself a push forward, celebrating every single milestone is going to help you. It's going to make you want to keep going because you're so thankful and happy and grateful that you've done what you've needed to do to get to where you are today. And then it fuels you and it inspires you to keep going because you think, wow, look at everything I've got done. Look at where I am today. How far I've come, blimey, over the last few years, right? And then you keep going and you think, well, what could I create in 5 years? How exciting could that be? Actually, sometimes, we always underestimate, the saying goes that we always underestimate what we can do in, 5 years, but we always overestimate what we can do in like a year. So remember that and just keep going with that. So those are the things I really do encourage you to take on so that you can obviously, stay on top of your vision, start being aware of your internal dialogue, recognize those triggers, focus on the growth, focus on the positive so that that's what grows, okay, and to stop comparing yourself. Those little bits there that I've encouraged you to do every day, those things there are going to help you, to be doing those other things, right? So that you can grow your business and attract the people that vibe with you and stay in a positive mindset. So what I want you to remember, my gorgeous beauty pros, you are never alone. Okay, you're not alone in this journey. It is a huge journey that everyone goes down, and it's not just this industry either, but let's talk about the beauty industry for now. There are so many people that are either where you are or have been where you are and have probably faced the struggles that you're facing right now, today, okay? So always remember that there is someone that will help you. There's always somebody that can guide you. There's always somebody that can give you a bit of a positive kick up the bum, okay? Everyone goes through these challenges. Everyone goes through ups and downs. Everyone has their days where they feel like rubbish and they don't want to get out of bed in the morning. But what they do is, if they've pushed through and they've been successful, is they do what I'm talking about. Okay? So I think surrounding yourself with people that have been where you want to be, have been where you are now and are where you want to be, that's the best thing that you can do. Okay? Find yourself positive communities and people that are supportive and want to uplift other people. Okay, those are the best type of people to be around, not the people that kind of like want their own success and just pretend that they're happy for other people to be successful. You can normally see straight through them. Okay, community and things like that make all the difference in your positive mindset, in your growth, in your vision, in your success. So I think that's super, super important. And what's also key is that you yourself actually take it on board and be a part of that movement. Be a part of the people that do lift each other up. Be a part of that genuinely. I say genuinely because, again, it's so funny sometimes people do pretend, okay? I don't want that. I want people in this industry to lift each other up. There is enough, clients out there for absolutely everyone. When you see someone putting something out there online, as long as it's not a trigger for you and you have to unfollow, if you're following people that are great, are brilliant, genuinely, seriously be happy for them. Take a moment to literally say, oh my God, well done them. And you know what? You can even say, thank you. I'd love some of that, please. That's not a problem. As long as it's coming from a place of genuine positivity and genuine love for this person. Like, yes, wow, look at that. I'm loving what they are putting out. You're so happy to see other people's success. Those kind of people grow. And they grow quickly because they can create relationships and they can, move and they can create their own success and stay in their lane, but also celebrate those other people out there that are doing such good things out there in the industry. That should be the aim of your game. You should be trying to do that. Now, before we wrap up today's episode, what I did want to also mention is that I do still have a very exciting opportunity for all of you. So I'm currently offering access to £600 worth of my exclusive trainings, okay, to help you to get more clients in your doors and to basically transform your beauty business. So if you want to gain access to that, please do message me on Instagram, and all you need to do is fill in a questionnaire for me and you will get £600 worth of my exclusive trainings that are part of my group program, my paid program, and you'll be able to take your business to the next level. Okay, so don't forget, if you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and do please share it with your fellow beauty friends, okay, who could benefit from the tips and things that I've shared today. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.